Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is FARAH BINTI RAMLEE. My matrix number is 262955. Our speech analysis topic today is about why some people find exercise is harder than other people's. Okay, it's delivered by Emily BALCETIS. The first question is about how does the speaker gain the attention and interest of the audience, and give some example. At the beginning of the speech at minutes 0.07, the speaker immediately starts the audience by saying visions is the most and prioritized things in our life. The quotation show that overview of speech will attract the attentions of the audience. Miller 2016 says the PT or witty quotations that relates to the topic of your speech can present a strong statement for you to build the rest of your contents. With the quotes and person quotes should be relevant to your presentations. Next, the speaker also gain the attentions by shooting rhetorical questions to the audience. For example, the speaker of the audience, what they see on the visual that she showed them at minute 0.03. According to Burnett 2018, said the starting your speech by questioning your audience will make them feel they are invested in your speech or your presentations. Those visual work to arouse the curiosity of the audience. One way to drag your audience into the speech is to curious them. Okay, by then their interest will spark on the matter that the speaker tells, just like how Emily BALCETIS does in the speech, as he's continuously arousing curiosity by showing visual and asking rhetorical questions. Arousing curiosity by showing visual and asking rhetoric questions to their audience. For example, she shows the audience a visual showing a survey result on Obama presidential election prediction survey, where they brighten Obama's skin tone in one part and use the real skin tone on another. Surprisingly, the survey outcome vary according to his skin tone at minute 2.10, and the speaker asked the audience on how this happened. This is the examples of the speaker managed to gain the audience attention effectively. Question number 2 is how does the speaker establish his or her credibility? What type of credibility is used and explained? Okay, the speaker does establish her credibility in this speech. Before she starts to present the main points of her speech, she does state her occupation, which is as a social psychologist. By telling her occupation, she directly shows her credibility in the topic that she conveys in the speech. After that, in the speech, the speaker or Emily BALCETIS continues to establish her credibility by telling that she and her research team did a test into an issue that received international attention, which is about a healthy fitness at minutes 4.15. According to WITS 2013, one way to portray speaker credibility is from their movement and gesture when they convey the speech. In this speech, the speaker or Emily BALCETIS will show an incredible good gesture and movement. Furthermore, according to MAN 2017, a speaker should avoid speaking too quickly, should smile occasionally, use eye contact, and speak loud enough in order to establish her credibility. The speaker continuously establishes eye contact with her audience and use correct volume and pitch of her voice in giving the speech. The speaker also using appropriate hand gesture that keep her audience attention intact. She also come prepared with her attire, which is a grey dress and pair of high heels, which to me strengthened her credibility as a social psychology that talks about the psychology matter, namely vision.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is NURANIS binti NAZRI. I will move to the third part, which is the main point of the speech. Okay, for the main point Emily wants to tell us is, we must see eye to eye. Our mind is full kind of emotional like positive and negative, perception and many more. All people at around us has a different view towards things that they see. So she mentioned that we might see something entirely different because perception is subjective. What we think we see is actually filtered through our own mind eyes. Emily wants to stand that we need a research before we thinking and judging if we see something in our eyes. In other words, the way of our eyes see is not always right because we only see it visually but not the real thing behind. For the example, Obama was joined an election for a president for the first time, and she will survey hundreds of Americans a month before the ceremony started, using the photograph to gather the information. In the first photograph, Obama's skin tone was artificially lightened and 75% vote for Obama against the rest. Meanwhile, other photograph Obama's skin tone was artificially darkened and 89% had voted for McCain. This simplifies that most people judging for the first perception of something that they see. Okay, for the other main point is eyes on the prize. And we said that if we keep our eyes on the prize, we can make the exercise become more motivated and feel easier. As she mentioned in her speech at minute 8:28, this strategy we told them to focus their attention on the finish line, to avoid looking around, to imagine a spotlight was shining on that goal and that everything around it was blurry and perhaps difficult to see. It is true, as everyone knows that people love rewards and appreciation for their hard work because reaching their goals. Doing a exercise is not a easier task as we imagine. It needs a lot of motivation and perseverance to manage it consistently for we have the success. When we see rewards is becoming, if we are seriously doing the exercise to reach the goals that we wanting, all the exercise is feel like easy to us. For the example, if the fitness center provide the gift such as a car, some money rewards and so on, indirectly it build the spirit of one's inner motivation to get the prize.
Okay, next I move to the fourth question, which is the type of organization does the speaker use. The type of organization that Emily used is the logical or topical pattern. From the introduction about the topic, Emily issues that people have a different kind of view and perception about they see, and it comes out with the data of survey with 120 respondents. Moreover, in the center of her speech, she said that the participant who has a strong motivation is to reaching their goals is she gets from the test to find out why some people think that exercise is hard thing to do. Emily and her research teams gather the information depends on the participant hips and waist measurement with the graph function to differentiate the sums of calculation found. She also estimates that 30% of the participants that their strategy to make people reach their goals is keep their eyes on the prize, is always to be motivated. The logical or topical pattern is focused on the ideas and logical manner are interrelated in the way that flows one other to the next according to the topic.
Hi, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is BINTI and my MATRIC number is 2614 and 38. So my question is question number 5. How does the speaker use the resources of the language and explain? So in this speech, the speaker is using the clearly and appropriately language. As a speaker, we must use the clearly language to make sure that the audience is familiar with the words and they can understand the main idea of the speech. So in my opinion, it is important to the speaker to use the clearly and accurately language because we doesn't know our audience, we doesn't know their genders, we doesn't know their races and else. So we must choose the accurately and clear language to make sure that there are no change to misunderstanding the points. So for ensure, we can use the simple words other than with, and we can use the specific words other than we use the complex words. We can see in this speech, the speakers was only use the clear and simple words. For example, in minutes 4 and 38 seconds, the speaker said that across the world, people are struggling to manage their weight, and there are variety of strategies that we have help us to keep the pound off. So the next example is in minutes 5 and 15 seconds. The speaker said that some people may literally see the exercise as a more difficult, and some people might literally see that exercise as a easiest. So I think that the speaker was using the clear and the simple word to to convey the main idea of the speech. The next question is question number 6. What are the type of the connective used by the speaker in the speech? Are they effectively used, and give the examples? So the meaning of the connective is word or phrase that have been connecting the ideas. There are two types of the connective used in this speech, which is the internal preview and internal summary types. Yes, connective have been used effectively in this speech by the speaker. The first one is the internal preview types. Internal preview is a statement in body of the speech indicating what speakers will discuss next and more details than the transition. So for example, in minute 2 and 15.3 seconds, the speaker said, "How could it be that when I look at a person or an object or an event, I see something very different than somebody else does?" Well, the reasons are many, but one reason requires that we understand a little bit more about how our eyes works. So, vision scientists know that the amount of the information that we can see at any given point on time, we can see that we can focus on it actually relatively small. So in this internal preview connective, we can see that the speaker have developed the problem and come up with the solution in details. So the next connective type used by the speaker in this speech is the internal summaries. The meaning of the internal summaries is the underside of the internal preview. Basically, internal summaries connective used to remind the listeners of what they have just heard. Usually, such summaries are often used by the speakers to finish a complicated or the important points. For example, in minutes 8 and 8 seconds, the speaker said that, "So our body can change how far away that finish line looks, but people who had committed to a manageable goal that they could accomplish in the near future and who believed that they were capable of meeting that art goal actually such the exercise as a easier." So in this example, we can see that the speaker will summary the result of her test in two different groups, and she can conclude that the people who have the strong motivation and strong goal to exercise can make it to the finish line. So the next question is question number 7. Explain the speaker voice during the speech. So there are many types of the speaker voice over the speech, such as volume, pitch, pause, pronunciation, and S. So in this video, the volume of the speaker voice during the speech is in the softness voice. For example, in 40 seconds, the speaker said, "Okay, what did you use?" So the way she speaks, it showed that she was using softness voice. Other than that, the speaker also have a vocal variety in his voice during the speech. In terms of vocal variety, the speaker was giving her voice expression. For example, in minute 2 and 42 seconds, the speaker said that some people did not realize that what were the changing from one photograph to the next photograph, whether he had artificially lighting or darkened his skin. Next, the speaker also used the rhythm voice during her speech. For example, in minutes 12 and 25 seconds, she said that no, it doesn't mean that at all. So last but not least, the speaker also have a different rate during the speech. Rate is a speed at which person's part. For example, in this video, the speaker said faster in minute 12 and 15 seconds. I'm fed up, I'm grumpy, I'm stressed, and I'm so behind. So that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Question number 8. Explain the speaker body during the speech. So, body language is a type of non-verbal communication is which physical behavior as opposed to words they express or convey the information such as behavior include facial expression, body posture, gesture, eye movement, touch, and the use of space. First, power pose technique. US social psychology proposed that holding the power pose result in the pupil actually feeling more powerful. Example 3.51, speaker say, "Why is about what one person think and feeling that lead them to see the world in an entirely different way, and doesn't that even matters?" So, the speaker has used the hand gesture and facial expression to explain the situation. So, speaker often use a facial expression to emphasize point, show sign, wonder, surprise, and motivate. Next, question number 9. What kind of the reasoning does the speaker really most throughout the speech? So, deductive reasoning works from the general to the specific. Speaker begin with theory and works to find confirmation observation. So, deductive reasoning is basic form of valid reasoning. Deductive reasoning or deduction start out with general statement or hypothesis. Examiner examinate the possibility to reach a specific logical conclusion and conclusion. So it is according to the California State University. At 1:45, speaker said a softball player sees the ball as teeny compared to the one a good street, and they see an apple as bigger than it is. In political views, people look at the picture of Obama that had been artificially light or dark and which look closer reality. Next, the speaker also compared two different situations at 5.01. She want audience to imagine that thing to the induce their answer and opinion. Question number 10. What type of emotional appeal does the speaker use? So, emotional expression is used by the speaker to make the audience feel they are in this situation and imagine. Emotional interaction is evident in several ways. Speakers have used metaphor, stories, and so on. The speaker use the emotional appeal effectiveness. For example, the speaker give emotion, motivation, and question by using the sentence. So we can see their emotion from their face. Keep your eyes on the prize on 8:45. The speaker give the emotional of the spirit to be more motivated to achieve a success. So the audience is not passive listener because she will motivate, ask question. So the audience will think more and follow the point on the speech. The method used by the speaker is very helpful to audience to understand the contents. That's all. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is NURUL Syazwani binti MUSLIN and my MATRIC number is 261432. We move to the question 11. Methods are used to prepare the audience for an ending speech. In this speech, the speaker used the dissolve ending method. She ends her speech by producing emotion by fading into a dramatic final statement. Refer the speech. She has the turn of motivated people with her emotions. Example at the 13:40 minutes, when everybody looks upset and angry to me, I try to remind myself that there are other ways of seeing them. Emily ends her speech. We need to teach ourselves to look at it differently and make it easier for us to make the world a better place. Okay guys, we move to the question 12. Methods the speaker used to reinforce the central idea. Firstly, the speaker used a dramatic statement. The speaker gives her speech more effectively by pausing for a moment before uttering the final words, using the tone of her voice to deliver them with the right inflection. Example, at the 12:37 minute, my colleague at work looks annoyed when I ask for an extension on a deadline, and my friends looks frustrated when I show up late for lunch because a meeting ran long. And at the end of the day, my husband looks disappointed because I'd rather go to the bed than go to the movies. With her voice to motivate people at the last sentences, at the 13:50 minutes, Emily suggests that we need to see the world through our own different perspective, because the world may seem like a challenging but does not always look that way all the time. Secondly, she used referring to the introduction method. She has linked back to her introduction to impart her feeling of coming full cycle towards her audience. The repetitive nature also have to remember the speech and the topic. In the introduction at the 11:70 minutes, keeping your eyes on the prize made the exercise look and feel easier, even when people were working harder because they were moving faster. The conclusion linked with the introduction at the 13:32 minutes. We can teach ourselves to see it differently, and when we find a way to make the world look nicer and easier. That's all from me. Thank you.